scored #1 in 25 countries in the scientific section. And I came to America just to study medicine. I came here, some people they don't know how I came here. I got a scholarship to medical school. That's how I came to America. And Alhamdulillah, I came here. After I came here, my scholarship was cut off because of the war in Yemen. So I finished my bachelor's and my master's in California University. I did biology, biotechnology, chemistry, and I did parasitology. And inshallah, planning to continue the medical school, inshallah. Just because of the tuition, so I stopped. And I studied Islamic studies for 15 years in Yemen. We studied like under senior scholars, the oldest style. We studied those old books, Bukhari, Muslim, and the heavy Arabic books, UAP and Ajrumiyyah. We studied like Tafsir, Aqidah, whatever you think of, we studied that. I started studying Islamic studies when I was 7 years old, until I came here to America after high school. And I finished the Quran when I was 11 years old, alhamdulillah. And I did some ijazat when I was 15, 16, and 17. That is actually after the memorization of the Quran. I'm serving, like I have been serving as an imam in America for almost like 10 years. And I was leading the prayer when I was 13 years old in Ramadan. And when I came here, I have been an imam for 10 years. Besides what I do actually, I used to teach mathematics as a tutor. When I came first to Michigan, just for the first time, knowing nothing, somebody just coming from Yemen for the first time, has no family here. I was teaching like, I was doing like tutoring in Henry Ford Community College and University of Michigan, UAP. And then I transferred to California because I got a scholarship here, alhamdulillah. So some people, I'm mentioning these points because some people they think as an imam or like as a religious person, you should not be a successful person in a different field. So people, they have this stereotype, or they have that idea that a religious person should stay in the masjid, in that corner, reciting Quran. That's your job. That's what you need to do. And that is completely false. Islamically speaking, in our religion, you have to be very successful in your life. It doesn't matter. So if you're hafiz, you cannot just be hafiz and that's it and stay in the masjid. No, you have to be hafiz. You have to be like a successful person in another field. So I mean, personally, I'm against anybody who's actually just going after the Quran and staying in the masjid in that corner, just reciting the Quran there, claiming that he's better than anybody else. That is not true, inshallah. So inshallah, as I mentioned, the time is very tight, and let me ask a question here. How many of you in this audience were born and raised in a different land and came to America? Raise your hand, inshallah. Huh? How many of you were born and raised in a different country and came to America? Just few people, mashallah. Okay, right now, mashallah, almost 80%. 80% of us, we were born and raised in a different land and we came to America. Can I ask the question why? Why did we come to America? The answer to that question is to get like a better future, right? That is the main reason. If you ask anybody, why did you come to America? Just to get like a better future, better career, to get better education, and also to have a good life for my son and also for my kids. That is the main goal. That is the main target. We cannot deny that. And let me just, from my experience, I'm 100% or 99% sure that most of you who came for this only reason, alhamdulillah, you have achieved that reason. You have achieved that goal, and you became successful. You did everything. And I think you are living a better life than what you used to live back then. We all know that, alhamdulillah. And most of you, alhamdulillah, right now they live in better houses. Better than what you were going to have back home, right? And alhamdulillah, you have achieved everything for your kids. your kids, alhamdulillah, at their age now, they are living very good in comparison to different kids at their age back home, right? Can we deny that? We cannot deny that. So right now, alhamdulillah, we have achieved what we came for from the dunya. That is the dunya. But truly, have you really thought about the deen, investing in your kids? So we came and achieved everything in this dunya. Alhamdulillah. And we should be very thankful for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some of us are still complaining about what they have in America. And if you look back at your country, you wouldn't have that if you were still there. So we have to be thankful for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But also on the other side, as I mentioned, have we truly thought about investing in our kids, in their deen? Because, let me tell you one thing. Back home, when I was growing back home, even if I wasn't religious, let's say somebody is not religious in Yemen or in any other country, the environment, the atmosphere, the checks and standards will keep him straightforward. He will be like, every time he goes astray, the community will push him back. And he will still subhanAllah, he will still have some manners, some good behaviors. He will have some Islamic standards. But here, you will think, that's why another question, Brother Abdullah, mashallah, I see you. Another question, do you think your kids, and pay attention to this question, do you think your kids will have the same enthusiasm and zeal to actually put their kids in the Islamic schools and also to care for messages from mosques and Islamic organizations as you care now? Think about it. I'm going to repeat that question. Do you think your kids will have the same zeal and enthusiasm to care for the Muslim centers and also for Islamic schools as you care right now? We shouldn't actually trick ourselves. They're not going to have the same enthusiasm. So what do we have to do? And also, alhamdulillah, I'm going to mention one story. I know a person, a girl, she was born and raised in Canada, Toronto. She used, her parents, they put her in Islamic school from the first grade to the 8th grade. And then she went to a different high school, she went to college, she graduated, alhamdulillah. She was working, she got married. And I know that person personally. She got married, and then she had a baby. Before she had a baby, after she graduated from college, she vowed, she took an oath that I will never put my kids in Islamic schools. That little girl, she said, I vowed and I took an oath, I will never put my kids in Islamic schools. So she graduated from college, she started working, until she had a baby herself. All of a sudden, her mindset was changed, for no reason. All of a sudden, without any introduction, that mindset, that mentality was changed. And she started thinking about the Islamic school. The moment she delivered the baby, she said, my son was only 1 year old, and I started thinking about my kid right now. You know why she's thinking? Because she became a parent herself. You see, subhanAllah, the cycle of life. So after that same girl, she became the principal of the Islamic school, the biggest Islamic school in Canada, subhanAllah. And right now she's doing her best to push and to support those Islamic schools. You see, subhanAllah? So when they asked her, this is the point of the story, and this is the point also of our Islamic school, the UAP. They asked her, why did you change your mind? You were against Islamic schools when you were growing up, before you had your son. She said, yes, I hate Islamic schools. she said, I was born and raised here and I did not like that environment. And then they asked her in an interview, why did you actually change your mind? She said, I don't know, but I only know one reason. Identity. Yes, Islamic identity, subhanAllah. She said, the only reason, just all of a sudden I felt Islamic identity. As I mentioned earlier, when you're back home, no matter how religious you are, or if you're not even religious, the community will push you around. Every time you go astray, they will push you back. But here in America, and also in Canada, and in the West, it's completely like different story. So she, subhanAllah, she devoted her time to Islamic schools. So subhanAllah, some of you would say, some of the parents would say, and I know most of the parents are so eager for their kids to get Islamic like education and better education. And they would say, you know what, for the Islamic identity, I'm taking my kids to Sunday school. I think that's enough. If that's the only reason of the Islamic schools, I'm taking my kids to Sunday schools. And trust me, as I told you, I have been teaching for 10 years. Privately, publicly, and also in Sunday schools. In Michigan, California, Indiana, Chicago, different places. I've traveled all over. And wallah, by Allah, Sunday schools do not impose, do not build, do not plant that Islamic identity in your kids. I'm not saying Sunday schools are bad. They're not bad. Keep taking your kids there. That's fine. But you know, I have a better relationship sometimes with the kids. You know, I have a good relationship with kids. So when I ask them, you know why they go to Sunday schools? They go for fun. Because as you have like weekends to enjoy your time, kids, they think of Sunday schools as like a fun place to go and to spend some time and to chill with their friends. That's how they look at the Sunday schools. So do not rely and depend on Sunday schools. Sunday schools do not build, do not actually plant the seed, the Islamic identity in your kids. So, that being said, going back to the UAP, mashallah, when I have been here in Pittsburgh for roughly 2 years. 2 years and 1 month. And I felt very sad when I came here. Because mashallah, we have a very big community. We have a very big community in Pittsburgh. And we don't even have like full-time, Islamic school all the way to high school. I was surprised. And when I was working in Michigan and also in Indiana, California, I saw a lot of people, they traveled, especially like the older generation, the first generation coming here, they traveled to different cities just for the reason of Islamic schools. And also I've been into different communities, just few people, they make an Islamic school. Imagine, I'm going to give you just one example. I was in Indiana, Fishers, and they have one of the top Islamic schools in the country. And their students, they go to the top Ivy League colleges and universities, imagine? And they have a long waiting list. And they built that Islamic school. They bought it and they built it and they did everything within just 10 years. And when they came here, I was shocked because the community here is bigger, is also, mashallah, financially better. And I was like, how come? Do parents, like, they don't care for their kids? They don't care about the Islamic identity for their kids? Because as I mentioned, my kid will not care in the future for the mosque as I care right now. You think he's going to come, my kid, in the future, if I don't build that in him? You think he's going to come and donate some money for the masjid if nobody pushes him? Right now we're doing it out of ourselves. We do it because we know the main cause. We believe in that cause. Our kids, subhanAllah, we have to think about this. So inshallah, I don't want to take more time. Let me just mention one thing. A question, inshallah. You know how much the government how much that government pays per student to go to public school? Who knows? What is the average that the government pays for a public school per student? The average, let me just give you the answer. The average in America for one kid to go to elementary and middle school, it's $18,000. That's the median. That is the average, $18,000. Can you imagine that? And in Canada, around $17,000. And when I'm looking at the flyers here and the papers, the UAP, the annual or the cost per year is around $5,000. Some even half of the half, almost roughly half of the half. Imagine they pay $18,000 per kid to go and learn stuff that maybe you like and some stuff that you don't like. And it's only around $5,000, half of the half, to take your kid to a better environment, to take your kid to a better atmosphere. Just think about this one. SubhanAllah, I know a lot of kids, they go to the UAP, and I teach them privately and also in the masjid. And when I ask the kids, I found out, SubhanAllah, they pray together. They hear the adhan. They have the khutbah together. On Friday, they do the khutbah. Can you imagine that? And also they have, mashallah, all the subjects, science, math, everything, right? And also plus they have Arabic and Quran. Just think about that structure. Think about that atmosphere. You think taking your kid to the Islamic school is not worth it? Or you have another option, taking your kid to a public school. And your kid in public school, he or she will not be exposed to those beautiful factors. Maybe you look at them as just simple, and they're not that important. Oh, it's okay, they hear the adhan, they learn Quran and Arabic, they pray together, they do the khutbah. MashaAllah, they're not actually that important. You look at them just like as tiny factors, but wallah, from my experience, they are very important and crucial factors. I interviewed, when they told me about this event, I interviewed 4 people in the community. Someone graduated already from high school, and another person graduated from college and started working. And I told him, did he go to Islamic schools? He told me no, I didn't go to Islamic schools. But I used to go to Sunday schools all my life. So he said he claims that he used to go to Sunday school. And then when I asked him, how many words do you know in Arabic? Just how many words? He said, he started thinking. Can you imagine? He started thinking. I think my time is up, so I'm going to conclude, inshallah. And he said, I only know one word, Shams, the sun. Can you imagine that? Subhanallah. So anyways, some people, they would think $5,000, it's too much. It's not too much. If you care for your kid, if you care for the deen, if you care for the Islamic identity, you have to budget yourself. As we budget for our rent, as we budget for our car leases, as we budget for anything else, you can budget for your kid. You can invest, because my final statement is your kids are the biggest investment that you can leave after your death. Jazakumullah.
جزاكم الله خيرا